Hi, I'm Cheryl Kagan, very proud to be the Senator for Gaithersburg and Rockville. Welcome to this week's edition of Kibbitzing with Kagan, brief conversations with people I find fascinating. With me today during Women's History Month is one of the most extraordinary, effective, kind, brilliant, all the things, members of the entire General Assembly, Joseline Peña Melnyk. Madam Chair, Delegate, thank you so much for taking time to chat.
Thank you for having me. It is really an honor. The feeling is mutual, as you know. So I'm excited. I'm
Thank
excited
you.
to spend a little time with you this evening.
Amen. Well, I have a million questions for you. I want to start with your childhood, your family. You were born in the Dominican Republic. You were in New York, then you had to go back, then you came back. You became an American citizen at about the age of 17, went to college in Buffalo and law school there as well. Talk about and you were first generation college educated person in your family. Talk about the impact of your childhood on your values and on your life so far.
Well, I was born in the Dominican Republic. The impact of being raised in the Dominican Republic, coming to the U.S. at a young age, and then, like many immigrants, going back and coming back, was really it has had a great impact in my life, right? It has shaped my value system, from being very poor, to not having a meal for lunch, or a meal to when at nighttime, when I legislate from experience. No one can tell me what it's like to be hungry. No one can tell me what it's like to walk home from school and spend over an hour to get home and then find no food. I mean, that shapes you. That really has a big impact on the way you live your life and the decisions you make.
Right. So the word abogado is lawyer, and as a child, you were called the abogadita. Hold on, I want to say it right. But
You
the
said it right, la
okay,
abogadita.
abogadita, the little lawyer, because you helped people who didn't have English language skills yet to navigate government systems and in the community. Again, that must have been such a powerful influence at a very young age.
It was a powerful influence. You know why? Because at that age, when I was translating for people, I learned about things that I should not have been learning about at 8 years old at the welfare office with my mom.
Mm.
And you learn about not having a father at the house, or very personal things of a person. But I also observed how these women were treated. It was mostly women, and how it was so demoralizing that I knew at that young age that I wanted more, and that I was never going to be treated that way.
So you ended up working for Eric Holder. You worked at the national level and then ran for Eric Holder, sorry, the first Black Attorney General, and just a really powerful presence in DC and in the nation. And then decided to run for office yourself. How challenging a decision was that?
That was very challenging because I did not have a role model, right? I did not know what it would entail to run for office, right? That it requires so much time and effort, but in money as well.
Mhm.
But I knew that I wanted to be a voice for my community, and that I brought something that was different, right? That
Yes.
I brought the diversity, being a Black Latina, and we're not present, right? Out of 188 in Annapolis, we only have 7 Latinos, 7 in the House and 0 in the Senate.
Yep. So you started on the College Park City Council and then ran for the House of Delegates, and you were elected in 2006 and started your careers, and you've been there since 2007, steadily ascending and expanding your influence. To what do you attribute your success?
I would say to hard work. It's a lot of
Mhm.
work, but
Mhm.
also having had people that believe in me, that trust my judgment, that wanted to give me an opportunity. It has been a journey. It took a while to become the chair of a committee. 15 years.
Yep.
And I learned a lot during this process.
So, as you said, you're Afro-Latina. You immediately joined the Black Caucus. You helped establish and are former president of the Latino Caucus. And you also were one of the first people to sign up as an associate member of the very new, this year, Jewish Caucus. Tell me how you think caucuses are effective and important.
They're very important and very effective, especially when it comes to supporting and help pass legislation. I am a proud member of those 4 caucus, including the Women
Oh,
Caucus,
of course, yeah.
because they're there for the people that don't have a voice,
Mhm.
right? When there aren't that many of us, and we need to come together to make sure that we use our collective voices to make change and to be present and to push the envelope. And I love those caucuses because they reflect my value system. And that is important, to be with people that think like you, that you have the same values, the same principle, and you care about the same issues, and that you're willing to leave it all out there to
Yes.
create change and to use your voice to make a difference.
So you were a loyal vice chair of the Health and Government Operations Committee, and we were vice chairs together. And
That's right.
your coaching was so helpful to me when I became vice chair. And now you're chair of that committee. Tell me what the biggest change has been and what the biggest challenge has been in going from vice chair to a committee chair.
I think that the biggest change from being a vice chair to a chair is that the decisions, I make the decisions now,
Yep.
right? And the challenge, and I wouldn't say challenge, but the opportunity is to be strategic about bringing everyone together. I have 23 members, 23 including myself,
Mm-hmm.
and to make sure that their voices are heard. Make sure this is not a dictatorship.
Right.
To make sure that we all get along, that even, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, that you can use your voice and be heard. At the end of the day, you take the vote, but it is important to value your members, to let them be part of the decision making and to listen to them. There's a saying that I love. It's one of my favorite saying, that you have 2 ears and a mouth, one mouth for a reason.
Right.
And it is important to listen. And I try to be very inclusive and respectful of my members. And that keeps you, on your toes every single day, to be just, to have purpose and intentional about being inclusive and respectful.
Well, you are known for that. You are known for so many things, so many
Thank
wonderful
you.
things.
As are you.
When you talk about you get to make the decisions now, you also helped craft a compromise that helped elect the first Black woman speaker, Adrienne Jones. And there was a contentious race with a white lesbian female candidate and a Black male candidate. And you said, here's another option. How do you work with the speaker now? And talk through that journey.
It was a very painful journey because we lost, the Speaker Bush, who was an amazing human being. He actually was the person that gave me the opportunity to become a vice chair,
And
and I'm
just to be
forever
clear,
grateful.
he died right before adjournment.
He died the day before we adjourned
Right.
on a Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
the day before,
Mm-hmm.
and that was not expected. I was surprised, and that was really impactful, and traumatic for all of us because we loved him.
Yes.
So, you quickly have to decide on a leader, right? Because the group needs a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all supporting different people. But then
Mm-hmm.
it came to a point where I realized, you know, neither of those two people have the votes. And
Mm-hmm.
here is a woman who was the speaker pro tem,
Mm-hmm.
for many, many years,
Mm-hmm.
and who is respected, and highly regarded, and a woman of color.
Yes.
So we were, in that room, we could not make up our mind. And I literally, I talked to Shane Pendergrass, and I said, Shane,
your
who was
predecessor, your
my,
chair at the time.
that's right, my former chair. And we were sitting next to each other. And I said, Shane, I'm going to get up and I'm going to move Speaker. I'm going to move, Speaker Pro Tem
Nomination.
Jones.
Yes.
I'm going to nominate her to be
Yes.
the next speaker.
Yes.
And she says, do it. So you know how you need that friend?
Yes.
So she said, do it. I got up, and I don't even believe the speaker was in the room. At that time, I think she was talking to someone outside. And I said, I move, Speaker Pro Tem Adrian Jones. And Cheryl Signer, Delegate Signer,
Yes.
second.
Now a senator.
He's a senator. He seconded, but I moved it. And I did it because something in me told me do it. And they were talking about, oh, let's come back in 2 weeks and make a decision later in 2 weeks. And I thought, no, if we do that, we cannot keep doing this. It has to end. And here's a woman that qualifies and really pay her dues.
Yes.
So I feel very proud of that. And
That's
she is an amazing leader. She's a wow, transformational leader. And I love serving with her.
Yes, that's great. So since we're on the topic of women and powerful women, and we're talking during Women's History Month, tell me who a woman or two or three who most inspire you. Who have been your mentors from the earliest ages or just in the legislature?
I would say my mom shaped me.
Yes.
I know that may sound cliche, but she shaped me. A woman that came to this country as a single mom with not knowing one word of English. I don't think my mom even studied till the 3rd grade elementary school and has worked since she was 11 years old to help support her family. And she shaped me. Her work ethic, that woman went to work even when she had a fever.
Yes.
And she will call from work on her way home before she took the train, and she would say, I'm on my way home. Can you ladies, my sister and I, can you start, cooking the rice or put the beans? Like, she will make a meal from scratch. And I just, she did it all, and she helped her brothers and sisters. And honest to God, my work ethic comes from my mother.
That's
Comes
great.
from my mother. I have had many other women
Sure.
that have inspired me, like the speaker and a teacher, one of my teachers, as well, some of my girlfriends.
Nice.
But my mom really shaped me. She instilled in me the love for life and wanting to do better and working hard.
Right. You have twin daughters and a son, as well as a husband who is your law school sweetheart, Alejandra and Katerina. What are your hopes for your twin daughters?
I hope that they are happy, honest to God, Cheryl. Whatever they do in life, that they're happy. Life is too short. I want them to be happy and to make a difference. The same thing for my son, because my son is 19 months older than they are. And I am biased, but they're beautiful human beings. They're thoughtful, they're caring, and I just love them and feel very blessed to have them.
You decided to take time off from paid work to have and start to raise your children. Talk about the transition out of the paid workplace and then back in.
It was very difficult, I'll be honest, because I love working at the U.S. Attorney's Office with Eric Holder. I love being, I was a defense attorney first, and then I became a prosecutor. And I loved it. I love having the discretion to help people. And I was, in a humble way, I was good at it because I worked hard. And then I stay home, and that was a challenge, right? Being home is a lot of work. You wear a lot of different hats. And finding that balance between being a mom, being a spouse, being a sister, and, wanting to still work and keep active, stay active, because it was so hard for me to become a lawyer.
Yes.
It was a little bit of a challenge.
I'm so glad you came back.
Thank you.
Another question related to women. What do you think is the biggest policy challenge affecting women?
I think the biggest policy challenge affecting women today, it's, the right to choose, right? It is, after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and they left that decision up to the states, it is fighting for our rights. Is so important, and it's really sad because you have people making the decisions that, are not us. They're not women.
Right. We had, oh, I don't know if I should say this. We had a debate on the floor, and there was a senator who was trying to introduce abortion restrictions, an amendment on the floor. And one of my colleagues stood up and talked about the importance of adoption and that he supports adoption. It was like the women, were mostly rolling our eyes and saying, how nice for you that that's what you want for our bodies. It was, yeah, it's interesting. So that's at the beginning of life and of that process. Let's talk about the end of life, because you and I are both passionate supporters of death with dignity, end of life option, compassionate choice, whatever you call it. And this year, sadly, once again, we're going to fall short. What makes the difference? How are we going to get this done and make Maryland the 11th state?
We just have to keep educating people. I hate to use that word. Hate is a strong word. It's like using it, but it's educating people on what it's not. Okay, because there's a lot of just lies out there, misconceived ideas of what it is, right? And it's the fact that it is not a mandate. It is, you have to have an illness where you have less than 6 months to live, a terminal illness,
Yes.
that there are 2 doctors involved, that you have a witness, that you have to be able to self-administer the medication, that people that are disabled and old are not going to be taken advantage of, that the Black and brown communities are not going to be taken advantage of, that it's a right, that if you want to take advantage of that and use it, you could do that. I have a problem when people that are religious impose their views and their religion on me. You
Yes.
could still be religious and practice and vote for that bill, because what's good for you may not be good for me.
Right.
It is a right. You should not take my choice away. And I have witnessed 2 people in my life that I love dearly dying. I saw them dying. I stayed with one of them till he took his last breath last year.
I'm so sorry.
And thank you. And you don't want your loved one to struggle that way.
No.
And it's not that they don't want to live, they want to live, but their illness is killing them.
Yes.
And they're going to die. So they should die in comfort.
Yes.
Right? In their home with whoever they want.
Absolutely. No, I am passionate about it. I am so devastated that once again we're falling short, and we're talking by 1 or 2 votes.
That's right.
It's just,
that's right.
it's
That's
awful.
right.
Well, let's shift to something else better. You and I work together on healthcare licensure because Maryland ranks 50th, dead last in terms of waiting times in the emergency room. And it took 2 years, but we got it passed, and we worked with really wonderful colleagues and advocates. Do you think, well, why don't you speak to that issue, why it was important? And do you think the word has gotten out? Do you think that so just for those who don't know the issue, so the law that we passed enables people who are not yet citizens but have all other qualifications to get licensure so that they can practice healthcare and be doctors or nurse practitioners, and provide the healthcare that we so desperately need.
So the word has gotten out. And, and I thank you for your leadership, because honestly, it would not have happened if it were not for your leadership. And it takes the right person, and you were the right person for that. I really mean that.
Thank you.
And it's very sad when you have gone through school, you have done everything right, and you now become a nurse,
Yep.
and it takes a lot to become a nurse, and we have a shortage of nurses. And then you're not able to get your license
Yes.
simply because you don't possess a social security number.
Right.
That is ludicrous to me.
Right.
And you were instrumental in helping get that through.
I think we
So
were the
thank you.
dynamic duo, my dear. I think it was
Thank
you
you.
as chair of the Health and Government Operations Committee, or vice chair then, and then chair. But we talked about how in Maryland we pay for education, kindergarten through 12th grade, and we give in-state tuition, and they do all of these things and they get all the qualifications, and then we slam the door in their face. It just made no sense, especially when
And
there's a desperate need. So
yeah, and they're doing great things in society.
yes,
They're
yes.
contributing. They're
And
paying
we don't,
taxes.
right. In the meantime, they're going to move to another state because a lot of
That's
other
right.
states welcome
That's
them.
right.
Yes. So you have passed, according to my staff and interns who did some of this research for me, you've passed over 80 bills in your 5 terms. Which bill or bills, which other bill or bills might you be proudest of?
Oh wow. It's in a very humble way, they're a lot. One of them, I will say, is the bill that created a reinsurance program to stabilize the health insurance market. And that bill brought in $1.2 billion between federal and state money. And I'm very proud of that. For the last 5 years, we have been able to keep premiums in the individual insurance market, stable because of that bill. I also passed a bill that I'm very proud of, and it's a bill that Maryland was the first that says that when you do the census, that inmates must be counted at their home address,
Yes.
not at the prison, right?
Yes.
And
Makes sense.
that was huge. I'm very proud of that as well. And then I also introduced the bill in the nation that created the Drug Affordability Board
Yes.
in the state of Maryland. And now you have like 7 states that have done what we have done as well. I have a lot of firsts in a very humble way, but it takes a village like you when it gets to the Senate. You always help it and you're supportive. It takes a lot of us to pass them, and all the advocates. It takes more than just me. And I'm just very fortunate and very blessed to work with people that are innovators and creators. And I work hard, so it's a good combination.
Yes. 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 Just a few questions before we go to Fast Five. I think you are so extraordinarily kind and patient and upbeat in a way that, like, in the face of adversity, I can't always do. Tell me something that makes you angry. Like, when do you really just get grumpy and lose your temper in any way? Does it ever happen?
I think that when people are not transparent and they lie to me, that really disappoints me and makes me very angry. And I try to control that. And I'm not the person I am today that I was when I first started. I'm very different because life and life experiences, they make you mellow and be more thoughtful and choose your battles. And I have
Yes.
learned to choose my battles. But
Yes.
when you lie to me, and you don't keep your word, that just it changes something here. I don't like it.
I agree. I totally agree. I have too many stories of, yeah, and I won't work with you again. You lie to me
And
once. It's a one
yeah,
strike, you're out.
and I won't tell you, but I will not. I'll keep it in, but things will change.
Hmm.
I don't like people that are not transparent.
Yes.
I'm a big girl. I can take it. Just tell me what it is.
Right. Right. Um, so what should a young woman starting off in politics or policy look to learn from you? What do you hope that you're putting out there as a role model?
That they can make a difference no matter what background they come from.
Mm-hmm.
and that their life is worth it. It has value.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, Joseline Peña Melnyk, Chair of the Health and Government Operations Committee, ferocious delegate, powerful presence in the General Assembly. It is time for the Fast Five. 5 quick questions, 5 quick answers. Question number 1. You've won a million awards because we all love you. Tell me one that you are proudest of.
I think the proudest award that makes me the proudest is the one from the National Hispanic Caucus, a state legislator. I got Legislator of the Year, and there are over 400 and some in other representatives and senators, and I feel so humble and moved by it.
That's fantastic. Question number 2. If you could travel anywhere in the world and neither time nor money were an object, where would you want to go?
I would go to Africa.
Where?
I really want to go to South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a friend that went and loved the experience and the journey. And, I recently did my DNA,
Mm-hmm.
and my kids were very excited about it. And I'm not from South Africa, but I am 50% from West Africa,
Huh?
Ghana and other countries. And I always wanted to know where I come from. And that is one continent that I have not visited.
That's cool. I've been to 2 countries in Africa, but yeah, I have not explored most of it. Question number 3. What do you do to relax and get off the grid?
I like to listen to music. So before we came on this podcast, you heard I was listening to music.
Yes, I was.
It relaxes me. From the minute I get in my car and I leave Annapolis on Friday nights or Saturdays, I have my music blasting. I love it. I know people must think she is crazy because I'll dance or sing in my car. But it relaxes me. And I also like to listen to books on tape. So
What
it's
kind of
relaxing.
genre of music?
Oh God, I like everything. I
Okay.
do. I like everything. I like jazz. I like the oldies, Frank Sinatra. I like salsa. I like merengue. Some of the stuff my kids listen to. I have it all on my phone. I love
Nice.
it.
Nice. Great. Question number 4. What is one thing about you that would surprise people?
One thing about me that will surprise people. Let's see, that I can eat 10 mangoes in one sitting.
Wow. Okay, that's surprising.
And it's true. The minute I arrive in Dominican Republic, I sit and I eat about 10 in one sitting. I love
Dang,
mangoes. It's my favorite fruit.
I love it. Okay. And it's a taste of home.
Yeah,
Do you eat them when you're here or just when you're in
I
the...
do. I eat them when they're here, but they're not the same. Oh,
Okay.
it's so nice to be able to pick them from the tree in the morning. Oh my God, and sit there and eat it, like peel them. Oh, the taste is just delicious.
Let
Fresh.
me, let me ask you, this is a detour. Dominican Republic and Haiti are adjacent. Haiti has gone through so many challenges and traumas. Do you pay much attention to that, or is it really just,
No, I
does it feel
do, and
like
it
part of...
breaks my heart, especially in the last few weeks, what's
Yes.
going on right now with the gangs and women being raped and the crime and to see how stable the other side is and to look at the missed possibilities and opportunities, it breaks my heart. It really does. You feel it here. You
Yeah.
feel it. Yeah.
Here's hoping. Chair Joseline Peña-Melnyk, question number 5. The question that I ask all of my guests. What is your hidden secret superpower? What is a skill or talent you have, something you're really good at that most folks can't do?
In a humble way, I have the ability to bring people together from both sides.
Mm,
And it does not matter how difficult the issue is. I bring everyone to the table And I go around, we introduce ourselves, we state our position, and then I try to find a compromise by listening and staying calm and being respectful and giving respect and asking, did you feel heard? Did you feel like I listened to you? Did you
Yes.
feel respected?
Yes.
You know, and it's so important for a person to feel validated. It really is.
It's a gift.
You
Yeah.
know, I don't know if it's a gift, but I know I have gotten better as I age, as
Yeah.
I live, and I'm more patient and I choose my battles, less judgmental. You know, it's just I'm good at that.
Wonderful. Well, you are amazing, and you know that I adore you and respect you. And I am so glad we had the chance to chat today, especially during Women's History Month. But thank you for your leadership, for your passion, for your intellect, and for all the ways that you show up as an inspirational figure. So I
Well, the
look forward to
feeling
seeing
is
you soon.
mutual. The
Thank you.
feeling is mutual because you're someone that I admire and I respect.
Thank you.
And you're someone that always brings a smile to my face. And you know, Annapolis, it's not an easy place, and it's nice to find a beautiful, honest, transparent person, and that is what you are. And you work so hard, and you're always right on the
Thank you.
issues, and you work so hard. And I know that people know that about you. And you know, I don't say what I don't mean,
Stop.
which
This is
gets me into trouble. But I really, the feeling is mutual, my friend. You're someone that I would stay in touch when I'm no longer in Annapolis, because I cherish our friendship and I
Thank you.
value you and respect you.
Thank you, honey. Well, I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you soon. Good luck in these final bits of session,
Thank
and
you.
I will see you again soon. Stay well. Te adoro.
Yo también, cuídate.
Y
Take
usted.
care.
Y tú.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.